Hello viewers, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today I'll produce a video on my prediction on KCSE paper 1 for the year 2022. First of all, allow me to take us through what is contained in paper 1. The first section is that of functional writing, which accounts for 20 marks. The second section is that of cloze test, which adds to the total tally 10 marks. Then lastly, a section that carries the largest portion of this paper is section 3, which is oral skills. For the purpose of this video, I would like to give my prediction on the functional writing that will appear in this year's KCSE. Thank you very much, viewers. I would, in a special way, thank those who have supported this channel with their subscriptions, comments, likes. Again, those who are visiting this channel for the first time, allow me to request you to take a second or two and hit onto that subscribe button so that anytime we produce a video like this, you will be notified. Again, if you love what we normally present, kindly give this video a thumbs up. You can also activate the notification bell so that anytime we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Fast forward to today's topic. I will be taking us through my prediction on the functional writing that will appear at the end of this year in KCSE paper 1 English. First of all, allow me to take us through some of the forms of the functional writing that have been set in the previous years, beginning from the year 2015. In the year 2015, what was set was minutes. 2016, the candidates were tested on the letter of application brought together with CV, that is the curriculum vitae. 2017, there was a speech on drugs and substance abuse. In the year 2018, the candidates were tested on a letter. 2019, the candidates were tested on a friendly letter. Then 2020, there was also an official letter. And then lastly, 2021, there was a report. 2022, I foresee a situation where minute writing will be tested by the NEC, Kenya National Examination Council examiners. Let me take a few minutes to take us through what is required in minute writing to earn full marks. In writing minutes, candidates need to first do a title, or what we call the heading. What are the elements of the heading? We expect that minutes should come out in the title. So you should, the candidate should write minutes of the type of meeting. Let's say drama club meeting. Then it is also imperative that the candidate notes the venue. Maybe it took place at Ongang High School Hall. Apart from the venue, then we also require candidates to give the date. For instance, on 14th of September, the year 2022, then again the candidate can go ahead to give the time. So minutes of the drama club meeting held on 14th September 2022 at Ongang School Hall as from 2 p.m. So that is a full heading to your minutes. Apart from that, there is the attendance list. And the attendance list, the candidate is expected to begin from the members present. In most cases, there are instructions from the question. Some questions even give the number of members who are present for the meeting. So the candidate should be careful enough to pick the number that they have been given. Let's say from the question it was mentioned that 4 members were present. Then the candidate needs to stick to the 4 members at the attendance list. That is the members present. After the members present list, we move to the members absent with apology. Those are the members who sought permission to exclude or to excuse themselves from the meeting. Again, just as I've said about the members present, the candidate needs to check if the question restricts them to a given number of those absent with apology, or they have been given the freedom to choose. Then we also have the members absent. Members absent, these are members who did not seek for permission while absenting themselves from the meeting. Then there is also a section that can miss or can be present depending on the circumstance of the meeting, and that is the in attendance list. The in attendance are majorly guests or visitors who are not originally members of the group, but they have visited. Like the example that I've just given, that is that of drama club members meeting, when the patron or maybe the teacher on duty decides to attend the meeting, then they will fall under the in attendance list. From that, from the attendance list, we now move to the minutes of the meeting. And in most cases, the minutes normally begin with preliminaries. It is within the candidate's freedom to choose the method with which he can introduce his minutes. A candidate can decide that the minutes are continuing maybe from the previous minutes of the meeting that was attended previously, or the candidate can decide to give the minutes afresh. Like for instance, a candidate can decide to say minute 1 of, let's say, September, that is 1/9 stroke the year 2022. Or if a meeting had been attended previously, the candidate may pick it up from where it was left in the previous minutes. Maybe the previous minutes, the last minute was minute 9/9/2022. Now the candidate will begin from minute 10. So that is within the freedom of the candidate. There are cases where the group is meeting for the first time. In such a case, the candidate is expected to begin from minute 1. So just as I said, in most cases, the minute 1 is normally preliminaries. This is where the chairperson normally calls the meeting to order and asks or offers to give a word of prayer. From that first minute, the second minute, in most cases, is the confirmation of the previous minutes. So here, a candidate is expected to state as the secretary that the secretary was given the opportunity to read the minutes of the previous meeting. Then a member gets to propose those minutes read as the true record of the proceedings of that meeting. Then this is seconded by another member and adopted as the true records of the proceedings of the previous meeting. That moves us to minute 3. Minute 3, in most cases, are the matters arising from the previous minutes. Here, a given member seeks clarification on the deliberations of the last meeting. Maybe a chairperson or an official then gets to clarify on the matter. From the matters arising from the previous minutes, we now move directly to the minutes for the day. And here, in most cases, the question is very clear. And by the way, KCSE examination is always very fair. It is always learner-friendly, always candidate-friendly. And the examiners really try as much as possible to enable candidates to pass. So in most cases, there are even the agenda of the meeting that are listed. In a situation that the question has listed down the various agenda to be deliberated on, then candidates should restrict themselves, maybe with exception of the first 3 agenda, the preliminaries, confirmation of previous minutes, and matters arising. Then the candidate should restrict him or herself to the agenda that is given. And for example, there is a question that asked about the minutes of a meeting of the COVID-19 club in a school. And the minutes that were given in the question for the student to deliberate upon were: number 1, sensitization of the COVID-19. Number 2 was the fumigation of dormitories. Then another one was raising funds to support the club. So in that case, the 4th minute after matters arising would be, for instance, sensitization on COVID-19. Then the minute 5 would be the fumigation of dormitories. And then the minute 6 would be the source of funds. There are sometimes that there is freedom, so the candidate will read the question and ascertain whether there is freedom or not. So in writing minutes, what should candidate get to understand to score full marks? Number 1, there should be a discussion. Members should discuss a given agenda. After the discussion, there should be a resolution. And here is what forms the content marks in this form of functional writing. So the candidate should be very careful to bring out one side of discussion. Maybe one member suggested that members of the school were not aware about the COVID-19. Other members supported that, and after a thorough discussion, then it was resolved that there would be a day set aside weekly, let's say Wednesday, for the sensitization of students or members of the school on COVID-19. And this one would also happen to the agenda on fumigation of dormitories, and again the agenda on the sources of funds. So what I am really trying to insist on here is that whatever agenda that is going to be discussed, there must be the discussion part and then the resolution bit. Let me first talk about the wording or the register that is appropriate. There are certain words that we expect to see as you come up with your minutes. And such phrases or such clauses could be, in unison, members agreed, ... or the members unanimously agreed. So unison, unanimously agreed after a thorough discussion or after deliberations. So those are some of the words or the register, the diction that is normally relevant to minutes. So candidates should always try to use the correct register that is appropriate with minute writing. After going over all the agenda that you were given to deliberate upon, then the candidate will be expected to, if possible, give the minute, that is the minute on any other business. Any other business is normally not discussed. It is just mentioned. Like there is an example here that a member asked if it was possible that the group could maybe provide a bottle of soda to each member during the meeting. So it is just mentioned that way and left. After the AOB, there is always the adjournment of the meeting. And at the adjournment of the meeting, here is where the meeting is normally brought to an end, maybe by the word of prayer. In some cases, the date for the next meeting is mentioned at this point. At the end of your minutes, then we expect that you are going to leave provision for signing. So the candidate will write something like confirmed by, and beneath that will write the chairperson and leave some space for signing and date, and leave the space for writing the date. Then beneath the chairperson row, there will be another row where the secretary will be written there, and you will leave a space for the secretary to sign, and then just beside that, there will be the date. So the candidates should know that these spaces are to be left blank. The idea is the provision for signing, the signing will only take place during the next meeting when the secretary will have read the minutes of the previous meeting, and a member will have proposed them as the true records of the proceedings on that day. Another member would have seconded, and the minutes would be adopted. And that is when the sign of the chairperson will be there and it will be dated. That is when the sign for the secretary will be there and it will be dated. So the chairperson, the place to sign, the date, and also the secretary, those spaces should be left blank. Remember this, candidate, and I repeat it. You should write, give the provision for signing by the chairperson and the date, the secretary and the date, but they should be left blank without the signings and the date awaiting the next meeting. Viewers, candidates, that is my prediction for this year's functional writing, the 20 marks in paper 1. Thank you.